Alright guys, in today's video we have more PlayStation news to go over and cover. We have a few different topics we're going over here today as usual, so be sure to hit that like button to help the video out and show it your support, and hit that subscribe button as well if you're new to the channel. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers, so I would definitely appreciate that. We're going to start talking about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart though. The game is releasing this week, and tomorrow the review embargo is lifting, so we're going to get a pretty good idea of what reviewers think of this game, and I have a very good feeling that this title is going to review extremely well. In fact, if I had to give a prediction, I believe Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is going to be sitting at a 90 or higher on Metacritic. Now, don't hold me to that, obviously, it's just a prediction. I wouldn't be shocked at all if it ended up somewhere in the 80s, which would still be very impressive, but based off of everything I've seen of this game so far, not just from a visual aspect, because it definitely looks next-gen, but the gameplay and everything that's involved with it, and the depth of the gameplay, what they're doing with the different dimensions and the instant teleportation, I really think that the game just screams quality. I think everybody can agree with that. You see the trailers, you see it in the gameplay, and I just have this feeling that it's going to review very well. Sony seems very confident in the game. Insomniac has just been absolutely doing a phenomenal job with the work they've been putting in for PlayStation ever since they were acquired by them, and they are definitely on a roll here. I will say, it would definitely be an incredible feat if Insomniac Games was able to achieve a 90 or higher on Metacritic with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I think it's definitely possible. We'll have to wait and see, but either way, I am incredibly excited for this. I do want to mention that reviews don't really mean that much. I mean, look, the game looks awesome. I'm pretty sure that everybody looking at it knows they're going to get a pretty good product if you choose to buy it and you are lucky enough to own a PlayStation 5. I just want to make that clear, but I will definitely be paying attention to see how Ratchet and Clank reviews tomorrow. I also want to let you guys know that it was confirmed on Twitter by Insomniac Games that they are going to have a few different modes available in the game, and I think that this is important to talk about because a lot of people, were wondering, is there going to be like a ray tracing performance mode similar to what we saw with Spider-Man Miles Morales? And it turns out, yes, there actually will be. So there's going to be a day one patch that you're going to have to download for the game, which isn't a big deal, but once you download this patch, you will be able to play the game in a few different modes. So you're going to have the fidelity mode, which will run at 30 frames per second and have obviously the highest resolution, most likely have ray tracing turned on, and everything just ramped up as high as it can go. You're going to have the regular performance mode, which will run at 60 frames per second and presumably have a relatively high resolution, probably very close to 4K. And then they're going to have a performance ray tracing mode, so you can have it at 60 FPS and still have the ray tracing, but the resolution will probably be reduced. Some people are thinking it's going to run mostly at 1440p or hover around there. That's what we saw with Spider-Man Miles Morales, so definitely a mode that people are going to want to play it in. But I just wanted to take a moment here to let you guys know about that. Let me know down in the comments below if you plan to buy Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. But moving on from that, I want to talk momentarily about some announcements, potentially, or a announcement that Sony may be making this week, specifically on June 10th, because Jeff Keighley is out here reminding everybody that he's going to be kicking off the summer events with Summer Game Fest, which I will be streaming here on the channel, and he released a hype trailer for this event. Now, obviously, you have to take it for what it is. It's a hype trailer. Some people were thinking for some reason that he was going to reveal some new games in this hype trailer, but that's not the purpose of it. But I just want to point out that I saw multiple PlayStation games within this trailer, not necessarily confirming that any of these games will be there, but what it tells me is that Sony will definitely have a relatively significant presence at this event, and that's the part I want to highlight to you guys here. So when I watched this trailer back, I saw a glimpse of Horizon Forbidden West, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Returnal, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, and Sifu. I may have missed one, but that's pretty much all of the PlayStation related games I saw, which is quite a lot, and it's a pretty short trailer. So to see that many games kind of crammed in there, hopefully I'm not assuming too much here, but again, I think that this is an indication that Sony will have potentially something significant at this event. Now, before we move on, I want to let everybody know, don't get your hopes too high. I mean, it could literally just be a new trailer for Ratchet and Clank, which would be, okay. I think some people would be disappointed with that realistically, but I just wanted to let you know that, it seems Sony might have potentially an announcement to make this week at this event. Either way, Jeff Keighley is confirming, which I think is pretty important, that there's going to be a lot of new things that are revealed, brand new games. He was clarifying this, again, letting somebody who was asking about the trailer know that, he's just using these games to hype up the event. It's not necessarily indicative of anything specifically you're going to see there. So there you go. Just wanted to remind everybody that's happening again this Thursday. I will be streaming it. But moving right along here, I want to talk about a developer speaking about the PlayStation 5's apparent incredible performance, which is always something that's interesting to me. So this is a developer from Konami, actually the producer of the PES series. So they had some interesting things to say about the PS5. They commented on the PS5's, quote, incredible, unquote, performance and the photorealism goal that the development team is pursuing for PES 2022. And this was actually with an interview with Play Magazine. And this is what the producer had to say. I think it is important to be able to experience the excitement and sense of accomplishment that football has in the game, not to mention being able to play games in photorealism. The performance of PS5 is incredible, and while benefiting from it, we have faced many challenges and feel that we are steadily approaching the next level step. However, no matter how good the performance of PS5 is, there are various restrictions, and therefore, I think it is an extremely difficult road to reach the next level. This is because the photorealism we aim for is exactly the reproduction of the real world itself. This includes atmosphere of the stadium and the enthusiastic supporters, the players, passionate facial expressions, the texture of the skin and hair, and detailed movement of their muscles and sweat, even the seams of the uniform. In my opinion, it's about recreating the real world itself. So what's interesting is that, some people might think, well, he's saying that they're benefiting from it, but they've also faced many challenges. You have to understand the context in which he's talking here. He's basically saying that the performance of the PlayStation 5 is incredible enough that they can actually potentially reach that photorealism dream that everybody has always been hoping for and hoping to eventually achieve with these sports games in particular. The sports games are always used as a showcase to show off graphical capabilities, just like racing games are. And so people are anticipating that this will be the generation we actually hit that true photorealism look. And according to this developer, he thinks the PS5's performance is incredible enough to be able to achieve this. He's letting us know it will be incredibly difficult. It's not like it's just a flip of a switch and suddenly, oh, look, it's photorealistic. That's not how it works. But I think this is very promising because, again, it's just kind of letting us know just how performant the PlayStation 5 actually is and how developers are genuinely very excited about the power that's on offer and what they can end up doing with their game. Now, PES is obviously a multi-platform title, so I would assume he probably feels pretty similar about the Xbox, but it's worth noting that in this case, we're just hearing about the PS5, so I definitely wanted to take a moment to relay that to you. And the last thing I want to mention here has to do with ray tracing on the PlayStation 5. We talked earlier in this video about how Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is going to offer ray tracing, but we did recently get official confirmation from Guerrilla Games that Horizon Forbidden West will also offer ray tracing on the PlayStation 5 version. This was something that a lot of people were wondering because people, watched that demonstration and they were wondering, well, is this game going to feature ray tracing? Turns out it will in multiple areas. So that's something that's really exciting. We're also hearing that Ghostwire Tokyo, which is a game that's set to release this year, will also support ray tracing on the PlayStation 5, as well as all the other features that you would expect. And I just wanted to highlight this for a moment because I think some people forget what the conversation was like to the build-up of the PlayStation 5 when it comes to ray tracing, how people were very concerned that it's a weaker console and so it's not going to offer ray tracing or ray tracing that isn't as good, so on and so forth. And honestly, it seems like the PS5 is doing a great job with ray tracing. We're hearing more and more games support it, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it from Sony's first party. And I remember when we were covering this, like a year and a half ago, there was unfortunately, some individuals trying to claim that the PS5 was going to really struggle with ray tracing, or that it just simply wasn't going to be able to do it. And it's like, you know, here we are, we've had the PS5, it's out for pretty much half a year, and it's like, it's the exact opposite. It's doing a great job with ray tracing, and I think people are very happy with it. I think people are certainly satisfied, especially when you look at Ratchet and Clank. The fact they're offering like a performance ray tracing mode that will most likely hit something close to 1440p. That's definitely impressive. So I just wanted to be sure to mention this and talk about it for a moment within this video. But that's pretty much going to do it, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Make sure you leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.